Kia ora katoa, and welcome to this video about projection mapping. This is the follow-up video to the PowerPoint presentation that the step-by-step guide to projection mapping. I'm assuming if you've watched or if you have been through the PowerPoint, we have been through LumaMap, we have focused our projector on the target, we have taken a photo from the projector point of view, we have corner pinned the photo in LumaMap, and now we're ready to actually go to the next step, which is the actual making the map inside the video editing software, which will enable us to put any video or any image, enable us to create what is the illusion of projection mapping. So let's just get straight into it. Now, I just want to say that we're going to be using a program called Vinci Resolve. This is not going to be a Vinci Resolve tutorial. If you need a Vinci Resolve tutorial, what we should do is we should head over to Blackmagic's website, Vinci Resolve. Here we go, Blackmagic Design. Download Vinci Resolve, the free version. And if you need to do a Vinci Resolve tutorial, that's fine. We just head over to the training. You'll find videos to follow along with. It's all free. They'll give you the project file. So yeah, Blackmagic Design. So this is not going to be a Vinci Resolve tutorial. So I'm assuming if you're watching this video, then it is going to be you're relatively competent or, able to use Vinci Resolve. So let's get straight into it. So our first step is we are going to start up Vinci Resolve. To say before we do this, so what I have going on here is I have my camera, which is my beautiful face. Maybe not, it's so beautiful. We have the instruction screen, what anybody would see with their keyboard and mouse. We have what we're sending to the projector, which is basically the screen that is kind of the extended desktop, which is monitor 2, which is basically the projector, which is here. And I have a camera pointed at the projector. So this is what the projector sees. It is more impressive in real life, but yeah, so that's what the projector is seeing. So let's go back to, to Vinci Resolve. So what we want to do is start a new project. So we're going to go year, month, day. So it's 2024. Month is the 9th and day is the 27th. And I'm going to call this projection mapping, DRH kitchen, DRH kitchen. I think that's good. All right, you can call it whatever you want. It's so yeah, it's just, but the year, month, day is good for archiving. Anyway, let's go create. So here we go. So we've created a new project in Vinci Resolve. Now I'm assuming that following along with the PowerPoint that everybody's actually made their maps in LumaMap, and we've exported those somewhere. So for me, I have those maps are actually in a folder, called projection mapping. Projection mapping PPT, which is my PowerPoint. Anyway, you may have saved it somewhere else, but this is where I've saved it. So I've got map 1, map 2. So this is the LumaMap photo. Let's go extra large icons on this. So yeah, so these are the two photos that have been corner pinned in LumaMap, and they've been corner pinned and focused on the projectors. So let's just, one's the wireframe version, and the other one is the actual photo. Both are quite useful. So what I want to do is bring these both into my media pool. Bang, there we go. All right, so with these in my media pool, let's go out of the cutting page for a second. We're just going to make a timeline using the selected clips. So I'll go create timeline using selected clips. Timeline 1, okay, that's fine. Let's go that. Okay, so now into the edit page. So there's my two photos. One's the photo actual, and one is the wireframe photo, as you can see here. So for the time being, the wireframe photo is a little bit more useful to me. So what I will do is I'll just drag it onto its own video track. I'm going to disable this one. It's there if I need it, that's fine. I'm going to drag this out a little bit. So the next step is, this is the preliminary stage. So let's say this is what we're going to do to make our map. So you can see here in Vinci Resolve, if I cut to the projector camera, which is this. So this is what the projector is seeing now. So we've made our outline, we have mapped it. So and now it is in DaVinci Resolve. So that's what's being sent to the projector. That is DaVinci Resolve. So you can see it's pretty accurate. It's actually quite, so any map we make is going to be really now accurate to what we're seeing in the projector. So next thing we have to do, whoops, I got to myself again, that wasn't good. Back to DaVinci. All right, so the first step in this is we want to make a bunch of layers. So we want to, as you can see here, there's in the cabinets, there's 1, 2, 3, the dishwasher, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there's 9 cabinets there. Yes. So, and then we were going to make a base layer. So the first thing we should probably do is we need to make a bunch of different layers and different alpha channels. So to talk about that, I guess the first thing we do is we go into DaVinci Resolve Fusion. Fusion is the page that is basically dedicated to special effects, to like, it's a node-based workflow in the video editing software. So, okay, so not to get too complicated into this. So in order for us to draw, we have to draw what we call polygons. Now, polygon is this is how we're going to make our projection map. We're going to map out everything that we need to map out. So the first one I want to do is I'm going to call it what we call the base layer. So if we head into DaVinci Resolve Fusion, and I might just name this base layer. This is going to be the base layer. So this is going to be everything. This is going to be the whole kitchen map. Not all of it, but just a good tasteful amount of what I need to do the map. So the base layer is basically all encompassing. I want a giant rectangle. So I'm going to head over. I'm going to go into DaVinci Resolve Fusion. Now there's a few different ways of doing this, and this is the way I like to do it. So I mean, there's a lot of different ways to do it, and there's, you know, there really is no right or wrong if you're going to do this, but this is the way that I know that works. So here, media in, media out, you can see this is the media out, and one is the media in. So you've got 2 screens here in DaVinci Resolve. If you press the number 1, or you press the number 2, so what we're seeing is really the same. So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to disconnect media in 1. Okay, so now the media out has disappeared because we're not sending anything to the media out. However, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to, and as I said, this isn't a DaVinci Resolve tutorial, but we need to start to draw polygons. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the polygon node, and I'm going to bring that down, and I'm going to stick that into the media 1, media out node. So this has started to appear. This means that we're drawing polygons. So what I now want to do, I'm going to put my media out into 2. So let's give ourselves a little bit more room here to draw the polygon. So what I'm going to do is, I think you can hit Control and you can zoom in. So, okay, so now I need to draw my first polygon. So with the polygon enabled, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Now this is a very wide thing that we're trying to do. So it becomes a crosshair, like James Bond style crosshair, like you're targeting someone, but I never do that because I'm not that kind of guy. Anyway, so in order to, so you can see here, I've drawn my first point on the polygon. This is going to be my second point of the polygon. We can tweak this after. This is going to be my third point of the polygon. I'm effectively drawing a giant rectangle. Actually, I don't want to get the skirting board in so much, so I'm going to probably just undo what I just there. I'd rather my fourth polygon be here. It's a matter of taste. I'm going to, we can zoom in on this a little bit if you need to. I'm going to put it on the canvas here. And to complete the circle, so polygon needs to be completed. And you can see when I've dragged and dropped over this, it starts to become a circle, because this will be the last point I can make on this polygon. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to complete the rectangle. So now what happens is if I tilt up a little bit here and I go into my media out 2, we've made an alpha channel. And if we go back to if we go back to the projector, this is what the projector is seeing in DaVinci Resolve. So this is the rectangle we've drawn over the whole entire surface. It's a little bit out, and this is what DaVinci Resolve is sending, and this is what it's sending to the projector. So it's a tiny bit out. So if I go back, yeah, I just need to make a few little tweaks to the polygon. So if I go back into the polygon, you can always tweak a polygon once it's drawn. That's fine. So it's a little bit skewed from the structures. So what I'm going to do is just lift it up a little bit. Excellent. So lift it up like this. I can see in the structure here. This needs to go up a tiny bit. Down a bit. So I recommend using a mouse for this because it's actually quite fiddly. And that's pretty nice. Maybe a little bit of a touch. So in projection mapping, you have to be quite, specific about. So if you hold down the middle mouse key, you can move things around. So you have to be quite accurate, because the point of projection mapping, I guess, is to create an illusion over a 3D space. So the more accurate you are, the better your projection map is going to look. So that's what the projector is now seeing, and we'll get into that later. So if I go back into my edit page on Vinci Resolve, just to show you what this is kind of doing, it's so now I have a base layer. Okay, so now if let's say we're going to do this multiple times for the different cabinets and stuff. If I go back into my media pool and let's just say I want to have a video. Okay, macro video of the human eyes. So this is going to be quite a good example. So we'll use this a little bit. It's pretty freaky actually, but it's, projection mapping is like that. So now, if I add another video track, there's the human eye video. I'm just going to put that onto video 3. So now that my map is made here, now if in DaVinci you can see that it's sitting over this. But however, what we want to do is we want to make what we call alpha channels, is we want to remove the background and we want to have videos sitting over the certain alpha channels we've made, and that's the process that we're going to try to invoke. So if we go into our base layer here, there's a thing called composite. So because we have an alpha channel now, what we're going to do is we're going to make this the alpha channel. Okay, so if we make our base layer the alpha channel, and then we turn this video into the foreground, see what this is starting to do. So now it is, so just to show you what this is trying to do, I'm going to go back to super source here, and we'll go to that. So by making this the foreground, do you see the way that it's fitting now into the rectangle that I've just drawn? And you can be picky, you can go back and go, okay, that's not quite what I wanted. But so this now becomes your base layer, is now the alpha channel. It's like a PNG alpha channel, and it's going to play on this video. So what we're kind of getting at here is, I suppose, if I go back into DaVinci, that we now have the base layer, which is the polygon that we've just drawn, and a video, and the video is unable to go outside that alpha layer. So if I actually, without drawing that map, so if we go back to what the projector is actually seeing, so the projector is seeing that, which is really, really cool. And now when I play this video, to show you what's going on here, we go back into SuperSource. So this is what's happening in DaVinci Resolve. This is what's happening on our kitchen cabinets. That looks pretty slick, right? And all we've done is made an alpha channel, and we've basically said, this is the rectangle, that's all you have. You need to fit the video into the rectangle, and that looks already pretty cool. So we've mapped out, yeah, the kitchen cabinets, and now it goes white because it is an alpha channel, effectively. So if I go back into DaVinci, that's what DaVinci Resolve is sending, and this is what the projector is seeing. So we've basically built an alpha map of the entire kind of like structure that we feel is interesting of the human eye, which is cool. So let's say if we wanted to go a little bit more specific, so this is where it gets interesting. So let's just disable these two for the moment. So what we need to do is we will in time say use those later, but let's drag in the PNG again. We'll make a new video track. So this is our Luma map. I'm going to match that with the length of the human eye video, I guess. That would be a good thing to do. So let's just map out one specific cabinet. So in order to do that, we go back into, we right click and we go open in Fusion page. So now we open this in the Fusion page. Once again, we see our Fusion page, media in, media out. I want media in on 1 because I kind of want to be able to see what I'm doing. And then we disconnect this media in from the media out node. Okay, once again, we're going to grab our polygon tool, grab our polygon. We're going to connect it to the media out node. Now, polygon, now see this is ground thing, so we're going to draw. So let's focus on this one. I want to map out just this specific space, okay? So basically, it's all about drawing a rectangle again. So your crosshair comes up. I am going to hit the crosshair. Remember, you can always add more points whenever you want to. And you can get in quite close. If you hold down Shift and middle mouse button, you can kind of create, get as close as accurate as you can to where this cabinet actually is. In order to create this illusion, we can go here. And then, as I said, when you've drawn all the points on your last point, you need to connect the dots. Polygons don't work unless they are completed. So this is telling me now, okay, if you do this, you're hovering over the circle means that you're going to complete this polygon. So I'm going to complete that polygon, and that's what we have. And if we go back to the projector cam, so this is what it's seeing on the structure. I can see I was a little bit inaccurate at the bottom. So it's all, I want that to be pretty perfect. It's okay, it's close-ish, but let's just go ahead and we will fix the bottom. I think that's probably a good bit better from what I'm seeing here. Yep, we're trying to get as spot. And once I said I'd absolutely use a mouse. This stuff is so quite fiddly and the tiniest increments sometimes. But I said to compensate for that, you can actually zoom in to get a lot more kind of control of it, which is a good thing to do. So I think I'm going to bring this up a bit, try and prevent spill. We thought the top was good. Let's have a quick look. So this is what the projector's seeing. Yeah, that's pretty nice. That is pretty good. I like that. So once again, we've just made a fusion composition, which hopefully makes this the alpha channel, which makes this its own separate window. So if I go back into the Vinci Resolve, we go back into the edit window. What I'd like to do with this is I would like to cut out the little vent, because that would be sort of kind of, the vents that we see there in the center. So, it would be a cool trick to, projection mapping is about illusion. And so it's about entertainment as well. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this eye video into the little vent. So it looks like an eye is looking at you. That would be, weird, but cool. So let's try to do that again. So we just need to make a new video track. I'm going to drag this in. Yeah, I'm going to put this as video 4. We'll make it as long as the eye video is. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this in the Fusion page. And yeah, this is what you have to do for everything that you want to make separate, that you want to cut. In DaVinci Resolve, in doing things in this way. So I'm going to open this in the Fusion page. Press the letter or number 1 to see what I'm seeing. Disconnect this from the media out. Grab the polygon tool. Put the polygon in here. Connect it to the media out node, which I want to see on 2. Yep, which it is. So let's zoom right in on the vent here, because it's a kind of a small feature. And I wouldn't really want to have to do this polygon business more than once. So I'm going to start to draw my polygon here in the vent, which is good. And once again, having the circle means you're going to complete your polygon. So that's looking pretty okay. If I drag it down a bit, just map it over the polygon here. There we go. That looks kind of cool. That looks good. So we go back into our edit page, and now what we have is just these two, and they're kind of sitting on top of each other. So what I like to do is separate these two. Is I'm going to bring that up to video 6, video 5. This lumen map here, I'm going to make this an alpha channel. And I'm going to also make this an alpha channel because that is what they are. This is just a show kind of demonstration about quickly what you can do. There's an actual process where we're going to have to separate the background. So we're going to have to make this its own independent alpha channel, but that is a different process. But just for the time being, I'm just showing what can be done here. So we're going to bring in the human eye video. Okay, so see, that's the way it's sitting on top now because it's on top because I haven't told it in the composite mode that has to be the foreground. But that's not really what I want. I don't want the eye, so I'm going to make a new video track. I'm going to put it above the vent. So let's see, foreground. Okay, so what I need to do is, this is why, yeah, I've made the video too small. So I'm going to position this up and around of the area of the vent, which is the X position, Y position. I need to see this vent a little bit more. There we go. It's way too big still, so I need to kind of, there we go. So there's our alpha channel foreground. So now the eye is going to be very creepy and sort of going to be looking at the vent at you. So if I go for this, I enable the track. So that is what, if we go to our projector camera, it does look a little bit creepy. Looks kind of Halloweeny. So there's now an eye, a blinking eye in our vent. Yar, that's very creepy, isn't it? So this is what we're sending with DaVinci. So on our map, it's going to look somewhat like this. The projector sees this. So we've actually mapped the eye into the vent, which is, oops, sorry, I need to go back to DaVinci. Let's just loop this for the time being. And in order to do that, we go back arrow key. We have to set an in point, I for in point. We have to set an O for out point. And I'm going to loop it. So now it's going to loop away. And like we said, there we go. It's kind of creepy. So now there's an eye in our vent. So to go back to the other layer, so if we go to video 4, so video 4 still exists here as an alpha channel, but there's nothing in it. So I'd like to bring in some sort of texture or something. So, but yeah, let's just use the brick. Why not? Let's see how this goes. All right, so I've used the brick. And now what I need to do is drag the brick down here. And once again, it's going to be sitting over everything, except for the eye, because you can still see the eye poking through the brick, which is what this looks like on the projector channel. It's pretty creepy. But I don't want to do that because we haven't set everything properly. So this is going to be the alpha. This is normal. That's why it's kind of covering everything. So we want to set this as being the foreground. And now when I do that, do you see the way it's fitted into, when it was normal, it's just covering everything except for the eye because the eye's above it. So if I go to foreground, now what we're seeing is the brick eye. And if we go back to our projector camera, the projector is seeing this mapped onto the kitchen cabinets. So that's, the projector in the room, and that's kind of the effect we're going for with the projection mapping. It's like an illusion. So if you walk by this, it'd be kind of super creepy, It's like, oh my God, there's an eye inside the vent. So yeah, so this is what we're sending to it with the DaVinci Resolve. This is what we're sending to the projector. So this is why we spend so much time trying to build our map and trying to, map out this perfectly, because we're now creating the illusion that is there. And obviously it's not, because if it was, I'd be freaked out. But so we can go on and we can go to build much more layer upon layer. We can map out every single cabinet. So it's all about kind of, the alpha channel and making maps and drawing polygons around your structures. So I've chosen the kitchen cabinets because the kitchen cabinets are rectangular. So rectangle is an extremely easy shape to draw. So that's why we started with this. So we can repeat the process and go ahead and map out all these in the same way that I've just shown. The only thing that changes slightly is the way that you need to get the alpha channels to sit over each other with what we call a background node. But we can go ahead and do that perhaps in a later video, because it is quite late in the university. I've stayed here way too long. Anyway. So yes, what Vinci Resolve is sending to the projector in the basis of our map, based on Luma map in the corner pinning and what we've done to the image. This is what the projector is now seeing and what people will see, which is really, really cool, because we you know, the coolest thing about projection mapping is that we're creating an illusion. And even though this is 2D and this is just the beginning, imagine what you could do if you got into a 3D workflow, if you got into, like, you know, you can, you know, do some pretty astounding stuff with it. So, but this is the basics of using DaVinci Resolve Fusion to draw a polygon and to create an alpha layer and then a foreground layer to sit on top of each part of the map that you want to create. So I think that's it for tonight from me. Well, oh God, okay, it's lateish. So yes, I hope you enjoyed it. And if you can practice those techniques, there is a bunch of content that you can get online. There is things like these textures. This textures website's brilliant. There's free stock footage, of course. There's now a bunch of AI stuff. There's Midjourney. There's Stable Diffusion. There's a cool bunch of green screen stuff that you can get off YouTube, which is really cool. Yeah, there's climate change footage. There's a lot of things out there. So to recap, if I go back to the other layer that I just had, you can see that these layers are going to sit on top. So if I re-enable my video of the human eye, nothing. Well, there we go. Now it's taking up kind of everything. And now see this other layer that we just built, this map is being, and this is what the projector is seeing. So the projector sees us as that. That's really weird. But it just goes to show when we stack layers on top of each other. So what would be a cool thing to do is to kind of mix and match these videos, is to kind of, let's sort of drag this one over. I like this. Whoops, for it to be on the brick as well. I can go here. I'm going to go in point. I'm going to go out point. And now what we have going on here is we're going to have the human eye video. And it's going to go into, oh, whoa, sorry, I want to take this out though. That belongs here. So now what we have is a full screen human eye. I know it's pretty freaky. I'm not obsessed with the human eye or anything like that, but it's just kind of cool. Okay, so everything was stacked together there. What I've just done here is I've just moved the other layer that we had. So, and I've moved these videos over to here. And I've just left the full screen layer by itself. So it kind of creates this effect. Let's have a look at what DaVinci is actually outputting. So it's going to create the look of a human eye. And then it's going to go into just the, hopefully, give it a second. Yeah, just the standard. And what that would look like on the projector is basically this. So what people are going to see is an effect like we have our base layer rocking now. So that's the whole thing. This actually does freak people out when they walk into the kitchen. They're like, whoa. And then, yeah, and we've projection map. So imagine we can projection map each individual cabinet. We can projection map everything. And we can have multiple videos. Anything you can imagine is basically what you can do. If you want to use Unreal Engine, if you want to use Adobe After Effects, AI, you know, there's literally, you know, the limits, the only limits are your imagination. And that is basically, yeah, the thing about projection mapping. So I hope everyone has enjoyed this video, and yes, and have a good weekend. And any questions, please email me. Thank you.